Kane, help me understand, though. We need to win at one of the blue wall states. Let's go one by one. Wisconsin, right. Michigan, Pennsylvania. And by the way, just let me take a pause. Blake here knows we put it all on the line to not make this the case. This is like a Shakespearean tragedy. It's tragically, guys, going right where we feared, where we're doing well in early voting in Nevada, we're doing well in early voting in Arizona, we're doing well in early voting in Georgia, and we're doing well in early voting in North Carolina. Well, what is the Charlie Kirk and Blake and kind of the whole thing? Well, if we could have went Nebraska to go winner take all, we would have won the White House. But Nebraska, their leaders
have their own priorities.
Their leaders don't love America. Yeah. I'm sorry. I talked to one of them right at the football game, and you just
not my problem.
He literally said, "Well, Kamala becoming president is not my problem," and so therefore we need a blue wall state because Nebraska just doesn't. The people in Nebraska love America, but the Nebraska leaders, they're so narcissistic, self-righteous. So we need a blue wall state. Kane, which of the three? Let's go one by one.
Well. Okay, if we're going to just look at those three, I like Michigan, right? I like Michigan. I feel that Jill Stein, that Cornel West, that the surging Muslim/Arab vote for Trump in Michigan, and by the way, that's not just Michigan, that's Minnesota as well, and Pennsylvania. But I'm going to be honest, Charlie. I'm not super confident about all these three states. I'm a warrior by nature when it comes to this. I'm never gonna relax. So it is those three states, but it's also about five others where Trump is sort of creeping closely, right? We've got New Mexico within 3 points, a poll in the last week. We've got Minnesota within 2 points, a poll within the last week. We have New Hampshire, a couple of polls in the last week, one within 2 points, and yesterday with Trump leading. We have Virginia with, I believe, the sneaky rural vote. Although I'm a little bit worried about excessive turnout in the super blue Northern Virginia Democrat areas where all these people know that their jobs are on the line, with Elon Musk ready to take the axe, in the government efficiency committee. All those bureaucrats in Northern Virginia, like they're gonna turn out like they've never turned out before. But the point is, Virginia is something that's in play. Even New Jersey, I put it in the stack last night. People forget Phil Murphy won by 3 points against some unknown Republican, and the turnout. I saw the numbers briefly. The turnout, early voting numbers in New Jersey, and Republicans were even with Democrats. It was 43-43, and I guess 14% independent. So it's the three swing states, and I'd like to hear what you guys say about Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. But I'm letting people know in these other 6 states, get your butts out. Like, these are winnable states. And so, and I forgot to mention Maine. So Trump, if we win Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, and Nevada, he's got to pick up one of those other 9 or 10 states.
He will. That Northern District of Maine loves him. It's working class lobstermen from Bangor. I'm not worried about that. That one's fine. So, but let's
I was talking about the whole state.
No, I don't think he'll win the whole state. I don't think he'll win the whole state. That's just I don't think he'll win Portland. Southern Maine is basically Massachusetts.
It was close in 2016, but you'd need...
Portland is a bunch of crazy people, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Portland, Maine is...
We would win New Hampshire before we'd win full Maine.
Portland, Maine is Boston. It's like a small Boston.
Blake, what do you think about New Hampshire, Blake?
New Hampshire.
I'm not on. I'll tell you why I don't believe it. But Blake, you go. It's too many college-educated people.
What I will say about New Hampshire is it is a very swingy state, so it will overswing compared to what the overall country does. So Trump very nearly won it in 2016. I think it was about 3,000 votes difference. If Dartmouth was on the other side of the river in Vermont, he'd have won.
Is that right?
I did. I literally ran the numbers.
So you went to school in New Hampshire, right?
Yes.
Yeah, at Dartmouth.
Yep. And so if Hanover, super duper blue, if you just took the precincts in Hanover and they were in Vermont instead, that would have been enough. But anyway, if you, so it overswings. So it swung really hard. The overall popular vote moved 2 points in favor of Joe Biden. But New Hampshire went from lose it by 0.5% or so to losing it by, I think, like 10. And so you can swing back the other way. But as you say, it's very college educated. The polls say Trump has gotten...
It's a suburb of Massachusetts now.
Well, those parts are the more Republican parts. It's the northern part. It's like the Grafton County area is not a suburb. That's where you get the blue mountain granola types, Vermont types, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think Trump would do well in that part.
No, Grafton County is very blue, which a lot of it is because Dartmouth College is a big part of it. But
Interesting.
So it's possible. I don't think it's likely. We've gotten better with Hispanics and blacks. There's not a lot of those in New Hampshire.
Yep.
I think it's probably a lot of people who are offended by January 6th, things like that.
Okay, Kane, 20 seconds, final thoughts here on the attitude we must need to win.
Foot on their throats, no mercy, no let up. Look, there's only 6 days. We've been working for 6 months. Some of us have been working for 6 years. Yeah, so 6 days is nothing. Don't back off.
I can say here, Kane,
know.
I am going to be the place where I'll sit in this chair and officiate the results or officiate, and I'll have no regrets because I worked the hardest I've ever worked towards anything. And I hope you guys feel the same. I hope you guys work so hard that you literally brought your entire life to a stall and collapsed. Kane, thanks so much.